Well, the way my camera works is it focuses in on me, which is a good thing, because I really kind of want the Crazy Girl sign up that show, but my camera not allowing it to be great right now. But it's a great camera, so it's allowing me to be great. I want my Crazy Girl sign to be great, but my camera like, no, you're gonna be great. So thank you, camera. But anywho, welcome back in, girls. To my newcomers, welcome in, Crazy Girl. To my old Crazy Girls, welcome back. I'm glad you came back. Thank you so much for always coming back. Y'all are the best. Like, I love my Crazy Girls, y'all. The best. But this episode, I'm going to kind of go into kind of like the nitty gritty, because I haven't been in the nitty gritty. Like, we talk about like anxiety a little bit. We talk about like depression a little bit. But let's get into like the nitty gritty. And I say nitty gritty because it's like deep in here. Like traumas, childhood traumas. Like, we really do not talk about that enough, y'all. Childhood traumas are real. And people always say, you know, you shouldn't continue to let that childhood trauma affect you or bother you. Why? Like, people who haven't been to therapy, they don't know how to not let it affect them and bother them. You know, all the reason I know is because I went to therapy. If I had not ever went to therapy, I would continue to let things trigger me. You know, some things still trigger me to this day because there's just a little girl in me that just, I can't kill her. I can continue to heal her, but I can't kill that little girl. So some stuff still triggers me. Like, me and my mom. You know, I'm adopted, so the lady I call mom, she's still living. She adopted me. She's really my auntie. She's a great woman, but she's so strict. She's really strict. But me and her, she's like a trigger. And yes, your family can be a trigger. You can have a best friend that's a trigger. You can have a job that's a trigger. Something. A lot of things. Some things can trigger you. A lot of things can be triggers for you. And my mom is one of my triggers. Like the lady I call my mom, my adopted mom, she is one of my triggers. It's because she knows, you know, what kind of to press and what to say, and it triggers me into fight or flight. And that's fight or flight. And I, you know, spaz out or snap out. Not like, but I do kind of get emotional, spaz out, you know, let that overtake me, what she said or how she made me feel, because she is a trigger for me. So if you have a person in your life that's a trigger, you have a thing in your life that's a trigger, you have to know how to create boundaries for that trigger. And for my mother, I don't hate to see it. I will stop talking to her. And it may go for 2 weeks. It may go for 1 week. It may go for 3 days. But if she has, it depends on how deep she triggered me. Did she take me all the way back to that little girl? You know, did she kind of just let me, you know, did I kind of peep in on the little girl? Sometimes that trigger will take you all the way back to that little kid. I'm not lying to you. All the way back to that little kid that was told that they were not good enough. You know, literally, some triggers will take you all the way back there. But you have to create boundaries. And she knows that now. We may get into an argument and she already kind of knows. She'll call me back to back or whatever. And that kind of signifies her like, okay, let's see how long she's going to go. And when I say she still triggered me, because we have that relationship. We're mom, you know, we have a mom and daughter relationship. So she still says things. She's going to forever say things that are going to trigger me. But she's not going to change. Like, she's older, she's stuck in her way. She's not going to change. It's up to me to make the change, create the boundaries, and, you know, help myself not be triggered and go into a moment. Ain't nobody got time for that. So, yeah. If you have a person in your life that's a trigger for you, you need to create some boundaries. Whether it doesn't have to be, you know, not talking to that person, but you have to do something. You got to do something so you won't be triggered. So you won't go into that moment. Like, let's see if I can think of an example of, you know, when she's triggered me, what it made me feel like, or what do I do? It just immediately upsets me. I immediately get so upset. I immediately feel like I'm never good enough for her. You know, I immediately go, because that's that little girl. I'm never good enough for you. I can't do anything that you like. I cannot please you. It's just everything I do, you complain about. And that comes up. That bubbles like up. I regurgitate it like, blah. You know, I do. I'm just being honest. I do. It's like that all comes up. That little girl she comes up and out. And if you struggle with that as a man or a woman, you know, I love my Crazy Girls, but we may have a man that come in here, you know, and he struggles with that as well, that trigger thing. So if you struggle with that, you're a man or a woman, you got to create boundaries. Like, go ahead and create those boundaries for yourself, whatever it may be. Just create the boundaries so you can stop being triggered by that person, or you can kind of control how much they trigger you. Them, you know, you can't control it all the time, but you can kind of take a handle on it. But we already kind of, like I said, we already kind of talked about anxiety and depression. Depression, I kind of been looking into depression a lot more than I usually do. And depression, like I keep telling y'all, depression is a thought process. You cannot let that thought process take control of you. When it comes to depression, that is what it is, literally, y'all. It is a thought process. You cannot let those first couple thoughts let you drown into that, you know, that moment. I've just been through, you know, a lot in these last few months. When I say a lot. And I still have moments where I'll let that thought get the best of me, and I'll, you know, have a day. It's okay to have a day. It's okay to have 2 days. But you can't, you know, I used to be one of those people a month. I would be depressed for a month. You know, before I know it, I'm like, oh God, we're at week 3 and I haven't put any makeup on, I haven't done my hair, I haven't done anything that's gonna, you know, self-care me. I haven't done anything that's gonna make me feel better. I've just been depressed. I've let this depression have me. And that's what we can't do. It's okay to have the feelings, it's okay to have the emotions. That is the human side of you. And that's the part that people always say, you can't let that control you. You can't let that have you. You can't, but sometimes it take you by the chokehold. It take you. It'll just grab you up, and it'll take you like you. Let's just say you're in a situation to where mainly a lot of, you know, depression comes from, you know, like I said, a thought, but it's like a life change. Something's different in your life or whatever, and it's overwhelming, things like that. So if you know, like I said, we talked about depression a lot. We talked about depression enough. Basically, depression, well, it's never enough. You can never talk about depression enough. The solution to it, honestly, depression is you got to stop yourself at that thought. Depression is a thought process. It's going to be okay. Like, depression is one of those things that you can let yourself have that day. You can let yourself have that moment. Don't go over 3 days. That's what we're going to say for Crazy Girls. We don't go over 3 days. We're going to, you know, let the depression, you know, kind of flow through our body for 3 days. Like, if you can do it in 1 day, that's perfect. If you can do it in 1 day, you can feel like you can force yourself to get on up and get yourself together after that 1 day. I am so proud of you. I've gotten to the 1 day sometime. Like, I let myself have that 1 day, and the next day I'm like, you getting up. We getting up. We're getting up. We're being productive today, period. We're doing it. So congratulate yourself if you only do 2 days sometime. But even congratulate yourself because if you only do 3 days. 3 days is still really, really good, y'all. Like, for real. It's really good. But enough about depression. It's there. It's here. It's real life. I was like, enough about depression. We're not going to talk about depression. But the next page is depression. It's depression. So let's see. Okay. Well, anxiety was on the first page, and I kind of looked over it, but I am going to say it because I have it here written. Where does anxiety come from? We use it as a joke all the time, but what is anxiety really? We do use it as a joke. We always be like, I'm about to have anxiety about this. This is about to give me anxiety. We use it as a joke all the time, but what is really anxiety? And this is something I researched and kind of summarized and, you know, put it together. It's difficult experiences in childhood, adolescence, or adult are common triggers for anxiety problems. Like, difficult experiences in childhood, adolescent, or adult are common triggers for anxiety problems. So that's crazy. It's just difficult situations that, you know, that you basically don't handle well. Basically, it just overwhelms you. It just does the most. That's anxiety. Going through stress and trauma when you're very young is likely to have a particularly big impact. I personally have anxiety because my mother, you know, the lady I call mama who adopted me, she was very strict. She was very strict, and I would have anxiety about just not being perfect. That's it. I would have anxiety, you know, is this right? You know, am I going to get, like, discipline for this? So I would have anxiety about always being perfect. Always. And I still have it to this day a little bit about being perfect. Not for real, but I still do it a little bit because of the childhood. Me always thinking I had to be perfect for her because she was so strict on being perfect. So now that's something I still battle with and struggle with, but not as bad as I did probably like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But I still do struggle with it or whatever. It says experiences that can trigger anxiety problems include things like physical or emotional abuse, neglect, losing a parent, being bullied or being socially excluded, or experiencing racism. I can't say on this list I've experienced physical or emotional abuse, and I've experienced losing a parent. I've never been really bullied or socially excluded or experienced racism, like really like. So I mean, as I got older, yeah, but I had, I really didn't care about once I got older. But some people experience racism when they get older and they really don't know how to deal with it. It gives them anxiety to go in places with people of other color. Like they may experience racism when they were smaller, younger, and it traumatized them so much, and they might be like, you know what, I'm only going to stay in the black community because the last time I dealt with a white person at a white school, it was just not for me. I felt bullied, and they, that's racism. They may have experienced that at 5 or 6, and they may have gave them anxiety about other races, and they're like, I don't deal with other races at all. Some people like that. Like, I think that's why Mexican people are like that, like Hispanic people are like that. They really don't kind of deal with other races, they deal with themselves, because other races probably have traumatized them, looked at them weird. When I first saw my first like Mexican or Hispanic person, I thought they were a gorgeous person, because I was like, whoa, tan skin, still good hair. Okay, it was amazing to me. But some people, they can't handle what they don't know what it is. I always remember that as well. Some people cannot handle the things that they don't know what it is, or they don't understand it. Okay, we're gonna get back on subject. Having parents who don't treat you warmly or overprotective can also be a factor. I have an example here. I was sent to boarding school and suffered acute separation anxiety, being away from home, and my brother nearly died when I was 12. My mama had an acute breakdown for a period of about a year and had to be home nursed. That's a lot. You feel what I'm saying? Like that person that had came to school, her brother, like she said, my brother nearly died when I was 12. I was sent to boarding school, so she had to probably be like, I don't know what age she was in boarding school, but I do know she was earlier than 12, or maybe 11 or 12 when she was sent off to boarding school. Imagine being parents don't think about this stuff too. I do. I do think about this stuff. I'm going to tell y'all this story, and then I'm going to tell y'all an example of me thinking about this type of stuff. But imagine that little girl in public school or in regular school or, charter school or whatever, and all of a sudden she had to go to boarding school. Boarding school is like boarding school, like boarding. When I think about boarding school, I think about this lady off of Matilda. You know what I'm saying? Like, they give me like boarding school vibes. Like, it's stricter than regular school. We know that for a fact. So she already got sent to boarding school so that created acute separation anxiety. So it's like, she was ripped from what she knew and put somewhere new at a young age, like 10 or 11. Maybe, like I said, maybe 12, but that's still young. And the reason I say, as parents, if you're a parent and you watch this, if you're a parent and you're a crazy girl and you're watching this, example, my baby, the school that she does go to, I didn't want her to go to that school this year. I just, I didn't want her to go to school. Nothing's wrong with school. I love school. It's a great school. I just want her to go to a different school. But she overheard me having a conversation, and I kind of paid attention to her. I was like, what's going on? And she was like, I want to go back to my school. I have friends there. I've gained a group of friends. They're really close friends. Like, they're in a group message together. And so I didn't want to rip her from that environment. But this year, she knows it's possibly her last year. So it gives her time to grieve and, process. Like her last 2 weeks of school, she may go into a stint of where, y'all just give me your phone numbers, I'm going to be at this school. I might not come back next year. She'll know how to handle it versus me just making a decision, not caring. Because my baby is 11. Me just not caring, making a decision, and I rip her from her friends, go to this new school. Now she's socially excluded, you know what I'm saying? And then it creates this anxiety in her that I didn't even think about. So we're going to continue with the story. So, being away from home, and your brother nearly died, when she was 12. So that could be anything. Like, that happens in the black community all the time. Excuse whatever the noise it is out there. But anyway. So, let's say he nearly died in the black community. Let's just say a 12-year-old little girl brother got into a shootout. We're black. I mean, stuff like that happens. It happen anywhere. But in the black community, when I was 12, I had experienced a gun before. Not about shooting them or me seeing them. I experienced a gun. We're in the black community. We got to be real about this. So, a 12-year-old black girl in the black community experienced her brother almost died. It may have not even been street related. He could have been on a four-wheeler. You know what I'm saying? Like, I witnessed several guys in my hometown getting four-wheeler accidents, and they nearly died. So imagine me 12 years old seeing my brother flipped off a four-wheeler, almost dying. That's traumatic. That it creates anxiety about my brother. Now I'm always, when he out my sight, I'm worried about him. Is he gonna die? She's 12 and she worried about her brother gonna die. Oh my God. On top of being sent to a boarding school, y'all. Ooh, let's keep reading. Mom had an acute breakdown for a period of a year and had to be home nursed. Yeah. This girl done been sent to boarding school. She done watched her brother almost die. Now your mama not right. Now you gotta watch your mama be depressed and be in a breakdown. Your mama so depressed that she's unfunctioning. Somebody had to come home and nurse her. This little girl is 12. Y'all, what do you think she was like at 21? At 12, ripped away boarding school. Brother almost died. Mama done had a nervous breakdown. And people don't talk about it all the time, y'all. In the, and I say in the black community, because y'all know I stand for the black community, this Crazy Grls. So in the black community, we hear about this. This little girl, like I was saying earlier, this little girl would have came to school probably quiet. Or maybe, I hope y'all can hear me with that going on. Let me just stop real quick, y'all, while this going on. Are they doing it on purpose? Like, is it happening every time I talk? I'm pretty sure they can't hear me talking in my house, but okay, I think they got far further away. The yard people out there, y'all. The people, Grace people. But anywho, so this girl, y'all, she would have came to school. Imagine us 11 and 12 years old. She would have came to school probably extra quiet, really, not moving, just, y'all know those kids that we don't really pay attention to. This is really about to blow me. Because I feel like they hit my door. Let me check my camera. They not at my door, but I just feel like they so close. Like, why is that noise so loud? I guess it's the middle of the day. Well, it's not the middle of the day. It's 9:30 in the morning, so it's the perfect time to be doing a grass thing. But I am trying to film a YouTube video for my Crazy Girls, and we are dead smack in the middle of an interesting story, and they need to stop. Like, let that grass grow. For the 15th time, this girl is somebody that we would have looked over, y'all, and she's 12, and she has experienced so much, even at the age of 12. Y'all, that's a lot. Okay, so that was like an anxiety situation. I'm pretty sure she had depression too. I'm almost for certain she got depression, and she may have that thing where she's worried about her brother. Like she got anxiety about her brother for sure. Now we're on to the depression. I started on page 1. I went back to page 1 because I was going to move on to page 2 that was talking about depression, but we went ahead and talked about anxiety because it was before depression. But depression, this is a word I don't play about, depression. When someone's even jokingly saying I'm depressed, I leap into action. I do. I don't play about when somebody says I feel like I'm getting depressed. Let's talk about it. Look, I almost got tripped up. I say this. Let's talk about it. If you're going through, if you feel like you even going through a depression, or you feel like you're finna experience a depression, y'all already know what I'm saying. First off, you need to pray. Like I told y'all, we're gonna talk about the Lord, but you need to pray. And because that should put you in a different realm to start off with. Get on your knees on the side of your bed, on the side of your couch, in your car, put your head down. Whatever you need to do, seriously, pray. Before you're about to go into a depression, because you can feel it. You can feel it. I hate to say it, but you can almost feel it. Your thoughts are going wild. You're probably drinking more than you usually would. You're probably smoking more than you usually would. Or whatever your coping mechanism is, you're probably doing it more than you're supposed to be doing it. And that you feel yourself going into a depression. So you need to pray first. Like, seriously, pray first. And like, I'm going to say this for my moms, my Crazy Girl moms. You need to pray because your children don't need to see you really get that deep into the depression. You know what I'm saying? Like the girl that was 12, her mom got so deep that a nurse had to come to the house. We're not doing that, period. Like I said, a while ago, 3 days. And within those 3 days, try not to let your kids really kind of feel it. We can't help it because they are kids. But try not to let them really feel it. Don't push them away. Don't Depression is a low mood that lasts for a long time and affects your everyday life. So if you're like me, I'm what you call a high-functioning depressive. Hey, my name is Millie. I'm a high-functioning depressive. Am I depressed now? Who knows? But okay, I play too much. But seriously, that does give me, when people think you can't move and groove with it, because like I said, I'm a high functioning depressive. I can be super depressed and live my everyday life. Nobody will ever know. Literally, as long as I put this face on, I can be depressed. But a lot of people don't know that, but I do. I pay attention to things that happen when world top model kill herself or the richest man kill himself. I understand that. You know, I know, you know, what's going on, because they was like, I didn't even know that was going through anything. Like the baby girl with the cheerleader baby girl. Oh, that tugged at my heartstrings so hard, because she was gorgeous. She was gorgeous, great cheerleader. I mean, marvelous. I went back and stalked her. That's just the truth. I did, because I want to know, you know, I look at people like that, and I think I see myself in them, because she lived a perfect life. Her life was wonderful. But what was the missing piece? You know what I'm saying? What was that piece that we didn't see? You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, in its mildest form, depression can mean just being in low spirits. It doesn't stop you from living your normal life, but it makes everything harder to do and seem less worthwhile. It does. Like, when you're in a depression, let me read this last part. It is most severe. Depression can be life-threatening because it can make you feel suicidal. Right. But that's the thing about depression. Imagine it is both severe, life-threatening. You're still going to school. You in the most severe state. You still going to school, or that person's still going to school, whatever. And I congratulate the girls who are watching this video, and you it's been life-threatening to a point of a suicidal thought. I am so proud of you. Like, I can cry, because I'm so proud of you. Thank you for making it to this video. Thank you for still being here. I love you. I absolutely adore you. You are a superhero to me, because I know what it feels like to get up and do it the next day and the next day. Ugh, let me comment. I get emotional, y'all. I get emotional, like. So if you're watching this video and you ever had a suicidal thought, or if you ever tried suicide, I love you. I absolutely love you. If nobody else tell you, Millie loves you. Crazy Girl loves you. Okay. Let me calm down, because that, y'all, I told y'all when I first started, I said I don't play about depression. I don't. Okay. It starts as a sadness. Then I feel myself shutting down, becoming less capable of coping or doing work. Eventually, I just feel numb and empty. These scenarios I'm reading to y'all are people that I went and researched, and I saw what they said, and I read their blogs and things like that. These are not people I know personally, or it's not me. So I'm going to read it again, the scenario. It starts with as sadness, then I feel myself shutting down, becoming less capable of coping or doing work. Eventually, I just feel numb and empty. I can say I felt that before, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been to the point to where when I worked at a job, I worked at Comcare, they had these things called flex days. And you guys, if anybody watches this video works for a company that, you know, y'all heard that word, flex days. Those are days you kind of accumulate, you can use for anything and not be kind of penalized for them. But yeah, I would use my flex days as depression days. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even know I was doing it until I knew I was doing it. I couldn't work. I would be so depressed that I just couldn't work. I would be like, I was be using those flex days back to back, like flicks. But I ain't lying. That's not healthy. But if you do have the opportunity to use those days, don't be like me. When I used to use them, I can remember I would just lay around, not do anything, cry. If you get those days, we're gonna call those depression, mental health, self-care days, whatever you want to call them. If you get those flex days and you have a job like that where you can use those days, don't use them all at once. Number one, because I used to get like 8, and I would use like 8. You feel what I'm saying? I'd be on like a mini vacation of depression, not doing shit. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. I wouldn't dare do that now. I wouldn't dare be like 8 days of pure depression, because we done grew too far. We just done did too much. We too strong for that. I did say we all have times when our mood is low and we're feeling sad or miserable a lot about life. Usually these feelings pass in due course. Okay, let me see what's on the next page. I think I'm going to stop right there. I'll read that one more time and then I'm going to stop right there, because that's good. We all have times when our mood is low and we're feeling sad or miserable about life. Usually these feelings pass in due course. Not usually. They pass every time. They pass every single time in due course. Every single time. So that's what I'm going to say. When you're experiencing a depression, you need to know that it's only temporary. That's why you can't let it go on past 3 days, because it's only temporary. Whatever the situation is, it's not going to last forever. Whether that be you not being where you want to be, that's, so that also onset of depression. Mine is, I'll get sad about me not being where I want to be, or me not being productive, or me just not being who I, just, things like that. Those are temporary. And those little thoughts like that, those can be fixed by doing the work. I had to realize that. Just do work with those things like that. But some depressions are just caused by life. You're just sick of feeling like nothing's going the way it needs to go. And life does that to you. Life will knock you down. As a crazy girl, over here in the Crazy Girl community, y'all know we pray. We pray and we ask the Lord to help us through those seasons. Those are just seasons. And if you're a crazy girl, you're also getting closer to the Lord. Like, I think, so that's something I'm going to throw in there. We journal, we pray, and we get close to the Lord every day. Journal, pray, get close to the Lord every day. That's what we do. So I will say this. On your journey to bettering yourself, getting close to the Lord, the devil is going to attack you. And he is going to attack your mental health. Because as a black woman, if we're black woman or black man, I stand on this. If we read and get the knowledge that we need, we're great. We're marvelous. We're fine. We're good. You know what I'm saying? We're good. So when you're going through your mama, your spell or whatever, just continue to work on yourself. Continue to pray. Continue to get close to the Lord. I promise you, if you, like those 3 days, day 1, I need you to pray so hard that you fall asleep praying your head hurt. Day 2, you get up and you do a little self-care. You wash your face, you brush your teeth, you take a hot shower, you lotion yourself down, you oil yourself down, and you pray. And you make the devil mad. That day 3, you a new woman. You done came out the depression spell as a bad mama jamma. You hear me? So, okay. I was about to go there. Y'all know I would go there at the end of every video. I be done got there. Y'all already know that. But thank you girls for coming back. Like I said, next video, we'll talk about this next page. Let me take a scan through on it real quick. Okay. I can wait. But yeah, thank you guys for coming back. I love enjoying talking to you guys. Well, I enjoy whatever. I love talking to y'all. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for being so patient with me. Like I always tell y'all, we are in this together. This is something we're doing together as a Crazy Girl community. Whatever you want to, talk about, or whatever you want to hear, drop it in the comments. Or like I told y'all before, message me. I do not mind. I might not message right back. I might not acknowledge it right then, but I'll get to it. Because one thing about me, okay, y'all, the video cut off. That was so long that the video cut off, so I know I'm going to have to do some editing. But yeah, what I was going to say is, I don't know what I was saying at the end of that last video. The camera just cut off. But thank y'all for coming back. Come back again. We're going to talk about some more interesting things as Crazy Girls. I love you girls. You are the best. You're the best community in the world. The Crazy Girl community. Yay! But yeah, bye girls. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, comment, share this video with someone that you think needs to hear a regular girl talk about regular mental health stuff. Share it. Let them know what's going on. But yeah, love you girls. Come back for my next one. I'll be here. Wait on you.